me?
Just ask any questions if you're interested.
I work for King and Queen County Schools and Director of Operations. We just switched over to biodiesel.
Yeah.
We're using, in fact, we just got 6,000 gallons of it today. And what they do is, from what I understand, is they take diesel and mix the soybean in it 5% before they come down the road, drive a truck down the road, it mixes itself.
That's not if you're mixing raw oil into diesel fuel, that's not biodiesel.
It's soybean oil.
Now, biodiesel is not oil. Biodiesel is oil that's converted chemically. That's what happens in this processor, and that's what that big plant does down in where it is in West Point. Biodiesel is not oil anymore. Oil is a molecule called triglycerides. You probably heard about them in your health. That's the stuff that's good for your blood. It splits the triglycerides into methyl esters and glycerins. And methyl ester is the biodiesel. And that can be used in any proportion, B100, B20, B80, B60, and that's what the B number is. And maybe what you're running is B5, which is 5% biodiesel. Not 5% soy, it's 5% biodiesel, which might be made from soy oil. But a lot of these guys around here are running, straight vegetable oil in their vehicles too. So I just wanted to make that distinction.
So when he says 5%, it's diesel and 5% biodiesel.
Yeah, if he says it's B5, that's what he means. And almost all diesel on the market now is about B5 because the newer cars they don't allow sulfur anymore because they have catalytic converters on them. And the sulfur used to add lubricity to the injector pumps. So now they put in biodiesel to get that lubricity. So just about anything you buy is B5, even if it's not labeled, because they don't have to label it. They have a new spec that says they can call it diesel fuel, even if it's part biodiesel.
So what you're making
I think the petroleum companies don't want us to know that they're all using 5% biodiesel. Or at least 2%, or some small amount. I don't know exactly what percentage you're allowed, but I think it's
So you're making straight biodiesel?
I'm making B100, yeah, but 100% biodiesel. And you can take this and put it in your tank and put in, 10 gallons of this and 10 gallons of regular diesel, and then you have B50.
B50.
Or you can put a little bit in if you have a fleet.
The problem I heard that we're going to have is it's going to clean the engines out, all my filters are going to stop off.
If the car is very old, or the truck, and it has a lot of grunge in the tank, biodiesel is a better solvent than petroleum-based diesel fuel. So it will pick up some of the grunge in the tank. And so the first time you start running biodiesel, and this applies if you're running like B100. You should change your filter once, and then you can go back to your regular filter change interval. Now, if you're running straight vegetable oil, then you have to look at those filters all the time, but not with biodiesel. In my Volkswagen 2006, I changed my filter every 20,000 miles, like it says in the book, and I'm running biodiesel.
You got a grant from the government to do all that.
You're running B100?
Yeah.
Straight. No,
straight biodiesel.
Yeah.
No diesel fuel added.
Well, sometimes I run out, but, or I don't have time to make it. But I run B100 as long as I got it. But one advantage of biodiesel is you can switch back. You don't have to change your car. So if you don't feel like making it, or you can't, and you're on the road and didn't bring enough with you, you can just put whatever you got in there. And you won't see any difference in how it runs. It'll smell different when the other stuff starts to get burned.
So 5% isn't really a lot, is it?
No. But yeah.
That's what our grant calls for, 5%.
Yeah, well, Gloucester School District is making their own. I think they're running a lot more than 5%. Arlington County is running biodiesel in their, county-run bus fleets. I don't know about anybody else doing it around here. I know some of the schools are looking into it. I think Gloucester's a little further ahead than anybody, from what I understand.
Gloucester's in our region, up there.
Yeah.
I can't remember the guy's name.
Yeah.
But Roger, he's director of transportation. He's come up and spoke to us a couple times. So this
Yeah.
is the first week
But
we tried it.
what we provide is we provide the equipment for you to make the biodiesel. Now for fleet operators like yourself, this system makes 40-gallon batches, but we also have the FM 400 with a 100-gallon batch system that'll make 400 gallons a day. And yeah, thanks. Yeah, that's for more fleet operators. There's a lot of food and stuff there to emulsify. The only thing you have to worry about is these guys that clean their fryers out with water and then put it in your barrel. If they don't do that, you're fine. The little bit of water that's in with the food is fine. It mostly boils off. You can have a couple of percentage points. You can't have like 10% water in there. It won't work. And then you have to get that water out of the oil.
That water won't mix in with the oil anyway, will it?
It won't, but it seems like the oil gets dirty enough and it'll form an emulsion. And that's where you have to watch it. If like you leave your barrel open and it rains on it, that's not a problem because that'll go right to the bottom.
Right.
But it's when they clean their fryers out with water and a cleaner. That's the only problem that I
Have you ever run into that?
Yeah, a few times.
So what do you do with your batch?
Well, I find that if it doesn't react and I heat it up and then react it again, it'll go the second time. I may lose a little bit out of it, but I can still usually recover 30 gallons of fuel out of it instead of my usual 40. So that's what I do is I just put it in a barrel and preheat the barrel, and somehow or another it seems to crack, separate out the water and it just works the next time. I've never, as long as it titrates okay initially,